What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions.
Fire, no one can save me but you. Strange world is all make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I lose somebody like you.
And a very grand and mighty welcome to all the fellow decoders out there around the world, wherever you are. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be breaking down and decoding The Wicked Game by Chris Isaak. And even if you're not a fan of this song, because if you just came on, you're like, what is Wicked Game? And you're like, oh, I don't like that song. Trust me, you're going to want to watch this presentation. This is going to be a fun one. This is just going to show you again that it's all about talking about the prison planet. This is what these people start singing about, and they're being used to tell you the story of how it works. And I mean, if you go through these lyrics, he's obviously singing about this girl. Of course, that's what it's going to tell you. But there's always more than one meaning. And when you really start to put two and two together, you can start to see the patterns that we're in a prison, a prism, and it's a planet, and you ain't getting out until you die. And you're being used as a human being to experience this reality, and whatever runs this reality ends up trying to come down here and become man or woman and experience its own game. And you know, this is all the story about the fallen angels and them, you know, incarnating and mating with the women, which is ridiculous, the story itself. But at the same time, it has merit because we're all the fallen angels incarnating and experiencing this reality called life. So when you look at this album, I'm going to be breaking this down, but this is the album that it's from. And it is the third album, of course, which is tied to Gemini and the prison that we're in. Small Subtleties, and it was his best-selling album. We're going to be breaking all this stuff down, heart-shaped world and all that. So let's get into the topics for this presentation. In the zero position, the intro, which is what I'm doing now. Number one, yes, that's right, it's Isaac's prison. Number two, the topic itself, Wicked Game. Number three, the heart-shaped world, which is the album that it was off for. And in the fourth position, always love to hear your comments. What did you see during this presentation? So let's have some fun. Put on some headphones, get immersed in this presentation, block out the outside world. Really, really pay attention. This one's going to be a fun one, but again, it's going to just follow up with Groundhog Day and Prison Planet, all telling us the same exact story, that we're in a prison. And this is Isaac's prison. Of course, in the biblical sense, Isaac was the firstborn that was going to get sacrificed. Abraham and his son Isaac. Just some subtleties. But nonetheless, here is Christopher Joseph Isaac. And it's immediately, I have bells going off And again, I wasn't even gonna decode this. The song popped in my head. I had heard it play. And then just the other night, there was a band across the street playing the song. And I knew that was the universe urging me to decode this. And here I am putting this thing together. And now I'm giving it to all of you. And how very fitting that this guy, Christopher Joseph Isaac, has the number 82 for his full numerology, and 82 through the string of pi is found at the 52nd decimal digit, and 52 is prison planet. So it's Isaac's prison. He's singing about it, and it's a wicked game that you come down here and play. It's very wicked. And you fall in love. And he says, I don't want to fall in love. Exactly. And how about this synchronicity? Sonny Bono sang the song with Cher called I Got You, Babe. I came out with this one in my Prison Planet, the very first one, Decoded. I showed his name, Salvatore Philip Bono, is the number 82, which is the element lead. We're turning lead into gold because that's exactly what we become. As we become man, we end up becoming lead. And that 82 is tied to 52 Prison Planet, which when you bring alchemy into it, it's tied to the element tellurium, which means earth. So it's telling you loud and clear, I got you, babe. It's got us. And then Chris Isaac, clearly, it's Isaac's prison and wicked game. That's exactly what this is telling us again. Just more humor from the architect or architects. It's just all humor. So I decided to bring those two songs together and see what I could find. And I Got You, Babe came out on August 2nd, 1965. And then Heart-Shaped World, the song that Wicked Game was on, came out June 13th, 1989. And this was the timestamp for these two albums, the time in between, 8,716 days. And that 8,716 is tied to this number right here. 90011 is the 8,716th frickin' prime number. What do you see there, folks? That's right. And what do you think the odds would be that these two songs telling you about being stuck in a prison, I got you, and then you're in a game and it's very wicked. And what traps you is the love. It's just the masculine chasing after the feminine. And of course, that's where their fallen angel story comes in. The masculine angels came down here because they admired or they had some eyes for the female human beings, and they incarnated to mate with them. And it's got you. And it's a wicked game. And that 911's right there. I mean, it's just ridiculous, this code. So Christopher Joseph Isaac was born on June 26, 1956. Here is his birth card. Excuse me. It's the 4 clubs card, which is the 17th card in the deck of cards. And that's tied to the star card in the tarot. The star card being the 17th card of the major arcana. And of course, he's a rock star or he's a music star. Rock star, movie star. Are you a star in the movie? Or are you just an extra or a walk-on for something else? Notice that, of course, the album that he came out with that had Wicked Game on it was called Heart-Shaped World. There's the heart, 17. 17 is the matrix. 17 is life. 17 is the star. And this guy's birth card is the 17th card in the deck. How about that? And then the 4 clubs in the minor arcana, the pip cards, if you will, is the 4 of wands. The clubs means wands. This using the Fool as card 0 and 22. This becomes card 26. And that's tied to the element iron, which is tied to predestination. Iron has an atomic weight of 55. The word predestination is 55. So when you start to see these synchronicities or synchronizations, you realize we have iron in our blood, mixes with the oxygen, and that's what makes our blood red. But make no mistake about it, there is the 20. Remember, Yod Hey Vav equals 26. Adam and Eve equals 26. And this guy right here was born with a 4 clubs card, which in the tarot becomes card 26, which is tied to iron and predestination. And he's talking about the wicked game. And he doesn't want to fall in love. It's only going to break your heart. That's right. It's telling you that. So it's going to happen. It's just really interesting. So let's get into the second topic. The wicked game. The song title itself. And wicked game is a 34. Breaking down through the numbers themselves and the individual words themselves, it's a 21 and a 13. And then you bring in the cards of illumination and you get the 8 clubs, the 21st card, and the King Hearts, 13th card. And this right here is the King of Love. The game that we play is all about love. That's what's going on in this world. It's all about humping and procreating, and the male chasing the female and the female chasing the male, but it's the male, the masculine testosterone chasing the estrogen. And then this is the supermodel that Chris Isaak used in his video. I'm going to get into her, but this is what he says. I don't want to fall in love. This world's only going to break your heart. That's right. It's telling you loud and clear. Breaking your heart. And that King Hearts card. So when you bring in the tarot and the major arcana, here it is. The wicked is the world. Just tied to the 8 clubs. 21st card, 21st card. This is where we all incarnate to get here. And then the game that we play is going to end in death. Love is going to end in death. The fallen angel story where they came and incarnated into human being form and mated with the women is going to result in death. The physical death. To experience this life from an angel down to a human being is going to end in death. Whatever comes down here and lives out its own experience knows it's going to end in death. So when we bring this number 34, the total numerology output of Wicked Game, I decided to bring it into the golden ratio, which has so much merit in this reality. If you're not decoding using the golden ratio numbers, I'm going to highly suggest that you do. The website that I use is this one right here. It's called Subidium.com. If you just log on to that website, you're going to be brought to this page right here. And here are the 4 different things you can choose from. Pi, the E squared, the square root, and then the golden ratio, and then you can just type in your digits right there. So when you bring in the golden ratio, which is from the sun, and you put that number 34 in there, look where it appears, the 26 decimal digit, 26 and 27, but this dude was born on June 26th. He sings a song called Wicked Game. Now, do you think he sat down with numerology before he decided to title the song itself? Because he knew this information? Come on, folks. When do you draw the line? Using logic and common sense. And this guy being born on June 26th, and then he has that 26 with the iron and the blood and predestination. Of course, it's all scripted before we ever got here. This guy's life was scripted before he ever got here. It's obvious and apparent when you look at these observations. So I thought this was really funny. This is taken right off of Wikipedia, and if I go to that right here, when you go to Wicked Game and you scroll down and you read about the composition, and you go down to the, what the heck was it? Yeah, there it was. What happens when you have a strong attraction to people that aren't necessarily good for you? That's what Chris Isaak wrote anyway. That's what it says here. Now, if it wasn't true, he'd go back and change it. But there it is. I highlighted it in blue. Isaak said that the song was inspired by a telephone call from a woman seeking to arrange a casual sexual liaison, and is about what happens when you have a strong attraction to people that aren't necessarily good for you, in parentheses, in quotes. And there was the breakdown of this statement that Chris Isaak said about the song, and it's the 322. I just thought this was really funny. I thought it was really, really funny. And of course, 322 is the doubling of the golden ratio. 161 times 2 is 322. And there's the golden ratio right there. And we just talked about the golden ratio right there. The wicked game being tied to iron and predestination, tied to the skull and bones through the statement that's highlighted in blue right off of the Wikipedia, right from Chris Isaak's statement about the song itself, Wicked Game. So I decided to look at their timestamps. Here's the woman that he chose to have in his video of Wicked Game, Helena Christensen. She's a model from Denmark. All you Denmark fans in the house. And she was born, what's really fascinating about this woman is that if you look at her birthday, she was born on Christmas Day, December 25th, and that's just almost the opposite. It's almost 6 months exactly from Chris Isaak's birthday. He's June 26th. It's almost identically a 6 month span. It's 183 days in between, not just counting the years, just the time stamp on the calendar. And that's tied to the 183 and the wolf. Feed the wolf. So if you think about what I'm showing you here, and you've been following this great research, and you've been adding to this decoding and finding out the things in decoding world yourself, besides what I'm saying, you probably have landed at this element. And we know it's the big W, the superstar. If you watch my decodes on the superstar, it's the big W tied to the sun. This element, tungsten, they used to put it in filaments for light bulbs. This represents the artificial sun. We make the light bulbs. The sun above is the natural, the light bulbs below are the artificial. And these two right here have 183 day span in between, and it's tied to the 74th element. Remember, God is tied to that 74. And it's tungsten and the wolf. Feed the wolf. Feed the wolf. It's the wicked game. When you come down here, you feed the wolf by playing the game. So I decided, of course, to bring their birth cards in it. You know I'm going to do that. And lo and behold, here's the comedy again. Helena's got the 6 hearts card, which is in the tarot. It's all about going back to childhood and nostalgia and, all that kind of stuff, going back to your roots. And then he's got the 4 clubs card. And what do you see right there? It's the 64, which also can be measured in the 46, which has the tree of life attached to it. But it's the 64th element, gadolinium, which, of course, the clue here, the funny clue, is that this icon the Royal Society of Chemistry decided to use is the very reason why they did is because they use this element to make television screens. And of course, I have the double helix here because it's our DNA, 64 possible codons in our DNA, 64 squares on a chessboard. And this guy sings a song, he brings this girl into the video. Do you think he knew all this stuff? Do you think Chris Isaak's that heavily involved in conspiracies? You think he's trying to mock you? Or pull the woolly over your eyes? Chris Isaak's trying to pull the woolly over your eyes. He's trying to mock you. Because he knows things and you don't. You think that's what's going on with this dude? Or her? Come on, folks. 156. The hierarchy of the 56, which is lights, camera, action. This is all a freaking movie. It's all a movie. We're in a television screen, and it's a wicked game. So when you mirror them, I said this guy's birthday came first, born in 1956 or 1968, so we can then take them and flip them, and it's the 46, which is tied to the tree of life, which is tied to the DNA. Tree of life in the Hebrew, the original Aramaic, as I've been showing, is 46. And there's the loop. As most of you know, following this great research, my prison planets and 42 decoded and 33 decoded. Here it is, the only anomaly I've ever found in the string of pi. 1937, 46, and it just repeats. 46, 1937. Doesn't matter which way you put them, they're always going to be in sequence. 1937, 46, 47, 46, 1937. And it's just a recycling symbol. It's telling you just get recycled back in. The sun's 19. There's the 19. We just get recycled back in. And we end up becoming man. We end up getting the tree of life. We end up becoming part of the DNA. So this is what this is telling you. The incarnation, reincarnation process. The recycling. This is just ridiculous. This code is hilarious, but it's fixed and it's scripted. These people are being used. Yeah, they're great artists. They have great songs. I'm a huge fan of music. I'm a huge fan of anybody that's a content creator, but come on, where do you draw the line and realize? You think this lady's trying to mock you? I mean, at what point do you draw the line? I don't know. So let's get into the last topic. The album that he had Wicked Game come off of, called Heart-Shaped World. Again, the third album. Album number 3, which is tied to Pi, 3.14, The Prison, Gemini, two twins. But here's the release date of the album, June 13th, 1989. And of course, 13's tied to Lucy. What's Lucy? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Of course, 13's tied to the sun. 13 is tied to the sun and the sun's patterns. Not in 12, it's 13. 13 apostles. Jesus and the 12 apostles, that's 13. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And of course, lo and behold, what's the June 13th card? The release date of this album. It's the freaking 4 Diamonds card. And it's the 30th card in the deck. As I've been showing, the Jack in the Box, the actual fast food restaurant, was founded on the 21st. I can't remember what day it was, but I know it was on the 21st. But it's a 4 Diamonds card. Go watch my Jack in the Box Decoded. It's just comical. We're Jack or Jill stuck in the box, and it's a wicked game. I mean, it's the 30th card in the deck. There's the rabbit, following the rabbit of time down into Wonderland. It's just all right there in your face. Just got to start looking for it and realize that this reality is a joke. It's a simulation. It's a movie. It's theater. It's script. So as I came out before, if you haven't seen my Superstar Decoded, I actually have part 3 coming out, which is going to be a lot more revelations on the patterns of the sun and just real nature, not trying to fudge things, observing the real machinations of nature. And here are the 13 months. And forming that boomerang shape. So 13 months right there. And tied to the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, tied to the release date of this album, June 13th. Heart-shaped world. Why is it a heart-shaped world? Because when you take one of these and you put another one and you mirror it, you now get a diamond, and there's the diamond. And that's the reason why I feel that the 30th card in the Cards of Illumination is the box. It's putting you in the box, but it's the diamond. And the 30th card is the rabbit, following the rabbit down into time. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And there's the diamond. Of course, if you bring this together, it's going to form the DNA, which the DNA, when you look at the DNA, folks, if you look at, there's a diamond right here. And it's also the fish. It's also the NFL football. There's so many symbols in here tied to the DNA. But it's the heart-shaped world, and there it is with the sun's pattern. You're just going to mirror it. But if you bring it together, you're going to make the DNA, you're just going to make a smaller version of that. And this album was the 3rd album. Tied to the 3.14. And I think this is I have 2 slides left. So this was really a big deal for me personally. I'm starting to observe albums with the number combination. So if you're a decoder and you're looking at songs, I'm going to encourage you. This is advanced decoding because most people aren't doing this, but when you look at the songs, start to pick out the numbers of the compound numbers that you're finding with your decodes, like, what's song 4 and what's song 6, and then you can decode those and the numerology of it and all that kind of stuff. But I decided to look at Wicked Game on the album. It's song number 5, of course, because 5 is man. 5 is the pentagram, which is inside the apple, the Adam's apple. The reason why we bit the apple, because it's got the pentagram in it. And it's the number 5. And we come down and play out this game, and it's pretty wicked. And then the number 9, the reason why I have the 9 here is because the game of life is 59. So there it is, and it's nothing's changed. So you have a wicked game that you come down here and play, and it doesn't change. Nothing's changed. It's still the same. You're being used. And the wicked game is song number 5. Here's house number 5 in astrology. It's freaking Leo. What's Leo ruled by? The sun. It's the sun coming down and becoming man or woman. That's what it's telling you. And the dragon is the reason why I have that there is because it's the Chinese, it's the lion. In the Chinese, it's the dragon. In the Western, it's Leo. The lion is the dragon is the lion, which is the sun. And the sun makes that heart-shaped space. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So who do you think Lucy is? So, I mean, if you think it's the Christ, well, it's Lucy too. But there's the 59, wicked game, and nothing's changed. And so I think this is my last slide. So if you take a look at the lyrics of this song, you know, you had the wicked game. I don't want to fall in love with you. Basically saying you're going to get heartbroken coming down here. And then nothing's changed. Song number 9. And it says, let's take a drive through the old town, back past the place where we meet. Some things are hard to remember. Some things you'll never forget. Let's take a walk down your old street. Who lives in your house today? Let's see if we can remember. This is all telling you, trying to remember your past life. Remember the game, but nothing's changed. It's just something repackaged differently. Something repackaged differently. That word but it's all tied to the wicked game. And it's the game of life, 59. There it is. It's the 5 and 9, the song 5 and 5, song 5 and 5, 9. And of course, who runs the 9 is Sagittarius, which is Jupiter. So is Jupiter the father of the sun? Is that what we're seeing here? Because Jupiter runs the house number 9, Sagittarius. Is Jupiter the father of the sun? Is that what we're seeing here? And Zeus is the father of the sun and the Christ and Lucifer and Lucy and all that. It's very possible. But I think this says it all. Nothing's changed. The game just, stays the same. It just changes its character and charisma. You just come down here and reincarnate into a different avatar. Change your avatar. Next life, you change an avatar. It's possible we just level up and graduate. So obviously be the best little devil you can be down here. That should be checking off your box. Instead of playing the blame game like a lot of people do, own your space. Start raising your frequency. Start becoming the best little devil you can be. So this is a rather short decode, but I just wanted to get this material out there. This was a fun one. I just thought it was just laughable and funny, but serious at the same time. But it's just telling you, we're in a game. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to play the game? Or are you just going to be an observer and you're not going to have a choice but to play? But anyway, what is it you saw during this presentation? What did you see throughout this presentation? Nothing's changed. It's the heart-shaped world, wicked game, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, the diamond card stuck in the box. Talking about this girl and having this tree of life and and the loop of time and all this stuff, folks. This is, do you think these people are trying to mock you and screw you over and pull the woolly over your eyes? Come on, point. At what point? These people are artists. They're singers. They make money off their singing and modeling and whatever else they're doing. Well, anyway, folks, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality, and I thank each and every one of you for your participation, your support, your Patreons, your donations. Those of you that want readings, just hit me up, decodeyourreality@gmail.com. That's all I got for today. Until next time, folks, we'll see you later.